We begin at 9 with breaking news. Right now, multiple police officers are in the hospital after a shooting in Illinois. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. I'm Kelly Jackson. Investigators say it happened just before 10 last night in Fairview Heights, somewhere near this area along Potomac Drive. We are getting a look at the scene right now from a few hours ago. Officials tell us the officers were responding to reports of a prowler near a home when the suspect opened fire, injuring multiple officers. And multiple police cars escorted an ambulance carrying a wounded officer to BJC. Right now, it is still unclear how many officers were injured or the extent of their injuries. The suspect was taken into custody. And we are working to learn more details about this breaking story. Be sure to stay with us on air, online, and on our 5+ streaming app for the latest information. This morning, cleanup well underway after a devastating and deadly EF3 tornado tore through St. Louis Friday afternoon, leaving behind heartbreak, destruction, and loss. We have team coverage this morning. Travis Cummings is live in North St. Louis with a closer look at the damage. And also joining us this morning is Walker Lawson, in from Charlotte at our sister station, WCNC, who is live with some important updates to changes to today's Annie Malone celebration. But first, Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is here with your weather impact forecast. Scott, there are more storms in the forecast this week.
There are. In fact, weather impact alerts for Monday and Tuesday. I think we're into Monday night and going into Tuesday when we have more active weather. But the good news right now, and what we're really focused on since we have so much damage that needs to be cleaned up around the metro area, is the fact that the skies are beginning to clear. The showers that we had down to our south are sliding away. We're back to 64 degrees in St. Louis. In fact, looking at the radar pictures right now, there's very little in the way of rain around the area at this point. Now, we look at your Friday tornado damage, and yes, the National Weather Service has been out there surveying a lot of damage points here. Okay, and some of it pretty significant damage. So we're dealing with that. We go back up to it, slide it up, and started really back in Richmond Heights, but then the damage started to get a little more impressive as you got along De Bolivar up towards Delmar, and then moving up towards Page along Kings Highway, and then working northeast from there up, especially west of O'Fallon Park, in the Fairgrounds Park area, and then all the way up towards Interstate 70. The maximum sustained winds estimated with this storm by the Weather Service, based on damage, 150-mile-per-hour winds with that EF3 damage. So Monday's severe weather threat is mainly late afternoon into the late evening and overnight. All hazards are possible. Tuesday could be during the day. There's still some uncertainty on that. Don't be anxious about that at this point. We're giving you an early heads up that something may happen. It doesn't look like a repeat performance of what we saw on Friday. And we'll talk more about that coming up in a few minutes. But today, it will be quiet this afternoon weather-wise and comfortable, too.
That is good news, Scott. In the wake of Friday's tornado, Annie Malone Children and Family Services is shifting gears. The 115th Annie Malone May Day Parade was supposed to be held today, but the organization made the purposeful decision to pivot from parade to community response. Walker Lawson from our sister station WCNC in Charlotte is at Annie Malone with more. Good morning, Walker. So what can you tell us about the change in plans?
Yeah, well, good morning, Kelly. This is really just showing community coming out here today. I'm going to step out of the way just that way you can see firsthand. Now, of course, as you mentioned, today was supposed to be the 115th Annie Malone May Day Parade that was set to march down the streets of St. Louis later today. But in light of the tornado, Annie Malone is turning its attention to what matters most right now. And that's the city's children, families, and neighborhoods. As you can see, people are packing boxes full of food. State and city leaders expressed concerns about the shortage of first responders and the need for community-based groups to step up. So this is exactly what they're doing here today. To mobilize a team to offer immediate care and support. The Annie Malone Crisis Center will open at 10 this morning, so in just an hour, right here at 5355 Page Boulevard. Now, storm victims will be able to get free food, household products, toiletries, you name it. There will be also on-the-spot case management services to connect families with the resources they need, everything from shelter support to counseling and recovery and guidance. Now, again, organizers here at Annie Malone want to stress that this is not a replacement for the parade. It is rather a response rooted in service in the community. Now, Kelly, coming up at 9:30, we'll be speaking with the CEO live here on the show, Keisha Lee, to better understand this goal today to try to be here for the community. And of course, as you can see, such a large response out here this afternoon, really showing the community coming together.
Yes, the community is showing up once again. St. Louis is known for that. Thank you, Walker. And the impact of Friday's storms still causing problems throughout the city today. Here's a look at some down power lines in the East Kings Highway East neighborhood. As you can see, it looks like an active line, and those lines fell on top of a truck that was removing garbage. Now, it happened around 8:20. We do not believe anyone was injured, but you can see it was a precarious situation. And again, no one was injured. All weekend, we have been getting a closer look at the widespread destruction left behind from Friday's tornado. This aerial view reveals the extent and severity of the damage near Newstead Avenue in North City. If you or someone you know needs help with storm recovery, just text the word storm to 314-425-5355 and we will send you a link. Now, it also lists ways you can give back to those impacted.